Hello friends, and welcome. Here is a question that might surprise you. When you stream a video or send a message to someone on the other side of the world, where does that data actually go? Most people assume it beams up to a satellite. It does not. About 99% of all international internet traffic travels through submarine fiber-optic cables lying on the ocean floor. That statistic is so striking that governments are now treating those cables as critical military infrastructure. Just last month, on May 31, 2026, the US, UK, and Australia signed a pact under the AUK-US alliance to deploy underwater drones specifically to guard those cables. In this video, we will trace exactly how your data moves, from the radio waves in your living room all the way to the ocean floor, and why that journey matters more than ever right now. Alright, let us start in your home. When you connect a device to a Wi-Fi router, the router converts your data into radio waves. Radio waves are a form of electromagnetic energy, the same family as visible light, just at a much lower frequency you cannot see. Your router takes binary data, the ones and zeros of a file or a video stream, and encodes them onto a specific radio frequency. Different frequencies carry different amounts of data. Wi-Fi 7, the standard officially known as 802.11b, operates across the 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz, and 6 GHz bands simultaneously, a technique called multi-link operation. In 2026, with over a billion Wi-Fi 7 devices expected to ship this year, real-world speeds typically land between 3 and 10 gigabits per second in close-range tests. Impressive, but now let us look at what connects your router to the rest of the world. Here is the interesting part. Not all cables are the same, and the material inside determines everything. A copper cable carries data as electrical signals. Electrons move through the copper, but they do not move fast. Electrons in a copper conductor travel at under 1% of the speed of light. That is a real physical ceiling. A fiber optic cable is completely different. Instead of electrons, it carries pulses of light, photons, through an ultra-thin strand of glass. Light inside a glass fiber travels at roughly 69% of the speed of light in a vacuum, only about 31% slower than the theoretical maximum in nature. That is not just a small improvement over copper, that is an enormous leap. It explains why fiber carries so much more data over so much greater distances. This fundamental difference in the physics of the medium is why we have these two very different kinds of cables doing very different jobs in the network, as we will see next. Now let me show you the cable hierarchy most people actually encounter. The first is coaxial cable, a thick round cable with a copper core surrounded by metal shielding. This is the same cable that originally carried cable TV signals into homes. It uses the DOCSIS standard for internet, and under DOCSIS 3.1 can deliver up to around 1 gigabit per second download. Second is Ethernet, the flat or round cable you might plug directly into your laptop or games console. Cat6 and Cat7 Ethernet cables handle up to 10 gigabits per second and have much better shielding against electrical interference than Coax. Third is fiber to the home, where the glass strand runs directly into your building. Fiber is immune to electromagnetic interference, delivers symmetric speeds in both directions, and is the fastest option available to consumers today. Understanding these three tiers sets us up perfectly to see where last-mile cables hand off to something far more powerful. Let me show you what actually happens when a data packet leaves your home. It starts on your Ethernet or coax cable, travels to your ISP, then moves onto regional fiber, reaches a cable landing station at the coast, and drops onto the ocean floor as a submarine single-mode fiber cable. The scale difference between each stage is enormous. Your home connection might be 100 megabits per second or a gigabit, but submarine backbone cables operate at a completely different level. In April 2026, a team led by UCL and NICT achieved a record 450 terabits per second over a commercially installed 39-kilometer fiber link in London. That is roughly 4 million times faster than a typical home connection of 80 to 100 megabits per second on fiber that was already in the ground. You can see exactly this principle in how backbone networks operate. The same physical strand, unlocked by smarter equipment at each end. Here is something that frustrates a lot of people: slow upload speeds on cable internet. The reason is historical. Coaxial cable infrastructure was originally designed for one-way TV delivery, pushing content downstream to you. So the available frequency spectrum on a coax cable is carved up very unequally, with far more channels allocated to downloading than uploading. Under DOCSIS 3.1, the dominant cable standard today, you can get up to 1 gigabit per second download, but only around 35 megabits per second upload on a typical gigabit plan. That is a 28-to-1 ratio. Fiber has no such constraint. Light signals have no directional legacy, so a 1 gigabit fiber plan delivers 1 gigabit both ways. DOCSIS 4.0, which is in early deployment as of 2026, promises to close this gap, but full rollout is still years away. For remote workers, streamers, and cloud backup users, this asymmetry gap is very real today. Alright, let us bring the whole journey together. Your device sends data as radio waves to your Wi-Fi 7 router. That router connects via coaxial or Ethernet cable to your ISP. The ISP passes your data onto regional fiber and then onto a submarine cable on the ocean floor, where it races at roughly 69% the speed of light across continents. Here is the key takeaway. There is no such thing as a purely wireless internet connection. Every Wi-Fi signal eventually lands on a physical wire. And those physical wires, especially the submarine ones, are the reason why governments are now deploying underwater drones to protect them. The AUKUS Pact, signed on May 31, 2026, is a direct response to this reality. Understanding how your data actually travels, from radio wave to router to ocean floor, is the foundation for understanding why that infrastructure is now considered one of the most critical systems on Earth. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.